Hi, in this lesson, you will learn about mastering conversational interfaces, inline chat, and token limited thread histories. This practical lesson is divided into three parts. Part 1 talks about the context hierarchy. Part 2 talks about the inline workflow or the inline chat. Part 3 talks about managing the thread histories. Let's move to Part 1. Generic prompts get generic answers. By targeting your context, you force the AI to respect the boundaries of your file structure. So let's see how can we use some commands to give the instructions to the Copilot AI and to limit the scope. So let's open Copilot. I'm using the same source code file that I've used in the previous lessons. Let me open the command palette, type Ctrl Shift P from the keyboard. As you can see, the open inline chat is already selected. So if it's not selected, you can type open inline chat. So I'll just click here. As you can see, this has opened the inline chat window here. So let's see and use few of the commands. So the first command is @file. So this command limits the scope to the currently opened file or the file that you specify here. So if you have any file, say file 1, if you have created something like that, file1.cs, you can mention the name of the file and then type your command. If you don't mention any file, then the scope will be limited to the currently opened file. So let me give some instruction to Copilot AI. So maybe I'll say rename variable number to say num. So there is a variable number that is used in the source code file. As you can see, I want to rename this variable to num. So let me enter. As you can see, GitHub Copilot AI has already created the source code for us by renaming the variable number to num. So if you are okay with this, you can just accept the suggestions. So I'll just accept it. As you can see, the variable number has been renamed to num now. So this is the file command scope. Now let's move to the second command, that is @workspace. So the scope of @workspace is the entire repository or the project structure which is currently opened in the GitHub Copilot ID. So this is the scope that will specify to the GitHub Copilot AI. Let me type a command here. Let me just type something I have already created for your reference. Okay, so this is the command I just type. How do I connect my backend service to an Azure key vault? So this is an @workspace command that you can use. Moving on, the third command is @terminal. So let me show you that. The scope of @terminal is limited to the integrated terminal or the command line interface of your ID. So whatever command you mention here, the scope of this command is limited to the integrated terminal or the command line interface of your ID. Let me use a command here which I have created earlier. So this way you can use the @terminal command. Let's move to part 2 now, the inline workflow or the inline chat that we are currently using here. Inline chat is about iteration. You are not asking the AI to write a book. You are asking it to fix a paragraph or fix a source code for you. Keep it small, keep it focused, and stay in the editor. So maybe I'll just show you how can you use this feature. So as you can see in the main function, there is some error that I have purposely created here. As you can see, these are the source code errors. So let me ask GitHub Copilot AI to fix this code for me. So I'll ask, say, why there is error in the main function. So it's debugging the main function, as you can see, and it has given some suggestions. This is the right code that we should be using, whereas the lines before this are the wrong lines, the wrong source code. So you can just analyze this. If you're satisfied, you can just say accept. So let me say accept. As you can see, this has corrected the code for me. So this is how you can use the inline chat to provide the instructions to the GitHub Copilot AI. Let's move to part 3, that is managing the thread histories. So think of a thread like a whiteboard. If you fill it with 50 different projects, no one can read it anymore. When the topic shifts, wipe the board, summarize the progress, and start a new clean thread. So let me open the inline chat again. Open the inline chat. Let me ask Copilot AI to summarize the changes. So let me just type this command, summarize the source code and source code changes maybe. Let me enter this command. So let's see what is the response. As you can see, GitHub Copilot AI has summarized the changes for me and showing the summary of the source code changes that has been done. So this way you can ask Copilot AI to summarize the changes for you